What is up, everybody? Oh my God. Windsor, Essex landlords. I just came out of a 150 strong meeting. It was a protest. It was an organization to protest the residential rental licensing program that is started in the city of Windsor. If you don't know what I'm talking about, what are you doing? Are you under a rock? And if you're a landlord, you've been under a rock if you don't know about this rental licensing program that the city started out, and everybody's got to comply by May 31st, if I'm not mistaken. Well, guess what? A bunch of us got together, 150 strong, sat in a room with a lawyer, and now we're going to thrash out how we're going to take this to the city and get this thing quashed. All right. So there's a lot of detail in that. All I got to say is, guys, if you own a property in wards 1 or 2, and in fact, if you own a property in wards 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then you should be contributing to this group. All right. So I'm going to give you a gist of what the lawyers said we can and cannot do. Well, I'm going to stay away from the cannot do, but the can, right? And this is what it's about. Basically, the first angle of attack, or the first attack that we're going to make to the city, is put an injunction on this thing, right? So May 31st is the deadline to apply. We're trying to get an injunction. What that means is a hold, right? So the court says, you know what, nothing can happen until we look in this, because there's a case here that these guys, this association, is bringing forward, and now the city can't implement this bylaw or this test program or whatever until this case is resolved. All right, that's going to buy us a time for about a year. So it's going to be a year before anything is going to happen, right? If we get that injunction granted by the judge. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, and this is critical, guys, the whole law that they come out with, or this test program, this pilot program, whatever they want to call it, is only targeted for wards 1 and 2. So, you know, obviously, if you got a house or a rented property in those wards, you really know about what's going on. But everybody else in wards 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 don't know nothing about this program and what's going on. So the case that we're going to bring forward to the courts is, this is discriminatory practices, right? You can't just choose 1 and 2. If you got to do something, you got to do it for everybody. That means everybody gets affected. All right. So guess what? The city, in order for them to say, okay, fine, this is not a test pilot anymore, we're just going to do the city-wide, it's a hard battle, because they got to get all the other council members to vote on that. Okay, that's going to buy another, I don't know, maybe 5 years, 10 years. And most likely other council members are not going to vote on that, on getting this rental licensing program in their wards as well, because there's some opposition to it, right? Right now it's only 1 and 2. So everybody else is like, all right, you go do whatever you want in 1 and 2, and we'll see how it goes. And then we'll talk about it, right? So that's what we're going to go and tell the people, tell the judge, the courts, provincial courts, guys, this is provincial courts, that this is discriminatory practices. We want to quash this thing right now. But look, there's going to be a bill for this, all right? It's not coming for free. We got to hire lawyers to fight this case, to put our case together. We got to form as a community, as a housing provider community, right? And put our funds together to pay the lawyers so we can fight this thing. Right now, we're estimating it's going to be something like 50 grand. All right, $50,000 for the lawyer, which is going to be in trust, of course. The first thing is to get this injunction and buy some time, and then after that, take it to the court and try and quash this thing. Is going to cost $50,000, which we might get back actually when we win the case, right? The lawyer is pretty confident. I walked in the meeting, I was thinking to myself, I was not that confident that we could do anything, right? But man, there was a lot of passion in that room. There was a lot of anger in that room. There were a lot of people speaking up. I just loved every second of it. I came out, my mind is freaking blown, because now I see people care about, what they do. And sometimes you feel lonely that you're the only person who knows the troubles or feels the troubles that you're going through. Nah. There's communities out there, guys. And I'm talking to my Win City Investors Club as well. All the landlords I know, we call them landlords. We're actually changing that term. We're housing providers, all right? So we got to change that term from landlords to housing providers. Take that negative connotation out of the verbiage that we use and talk about the things that we do and we do well. So there's associations that's going to be formed to fight this battle, guys, with the city of Windsor. to quash this thing, and I need every single one of you to be part of that association and what we're trying to do. All right. So there's going to be more communication about this. There's a WhatsApp group that's already on it. If you're not on that WhatsApp group, DM me and I'm going to send you a link to that WhatsApp group so you can follow what's going on, right, about this topic and how we're going to fight this. We're going to start raising funds, okay, because this money is required to fight this. Guys, if you think that, to yourself to say, you know what, let the other guys do it, right, and I'm not going to contribute. Guess what? You can't expect somebody else to put money into this thing, right? Because again, we need to get up to 50 grand. If you don't get up to 50 grand, this thing is dead in the water. Then every single one of us will have to pay our licensing fee every year for every unit that we own. And and I know, most of us have multiple units, all right? So you want to pay $466 a year for each one of your units, plus the ESA, not the ESA, but the electrical safety assessment fee, which is about $500. So you're $1,000 in every year for the rest of your life for every single property that you got if this goes through, right? So I'm calling out to every single person I know who's a housing provider in Windsor in wards 1 and 2 to contribute. It doesn't matter how much you contribute, just a little bit, right? If you contribute a little bit and we get the volume, 50 grand is nothing. We're going to put that together. We're going to fight this as a group to the city of Windsor, and we're going to quash this thing. The first thing is to get a hold, all right, an injunction for a year, and let it wait for a year. We can organize even better, get more money, get the volumes of people in there, and we can fight this thing and hopefully quash it, right?